So today I'm going to talk about the differences between the Corvette and the Tesla, and what I like about each one, what I don't like about each one as they compare to each other. I think this is a pretty good video to make because most people that I see online are either they're really diehard, Tesla EV for whatever reason. Most of the reason in the early years was because of, they want to save the earth and that kind of thing. But as it's advanced and these cars have come out, Tesla has sold millions and millions of cars by now, and they've really been on the top seller list for a while at this point. But anyway, more and more people started to adopt it. They realized the batteries aren't near as bad as, they were once thought, that kind of thing. And now they're just so convenient, and it's so much cheaper to charge and that kind of thing. The Teslas are just something you see every day in a lot of places in America. Maybe not so much in the rural areas. We have some family down in Mississippi, and I go out there. We might see a few. There's not near as many for, a bunch of obvious reasons right there, I think. But I'm also comparing that to the Chevy Corvette, which is, the 6.2 liter V8, Z51. So it's much like a race car right there. It's got the draw sump, all that. It's got a lot of extra stuff to be able to be fast, and it really burns a lot of gas, and but it sounds really good, and it is fast. It's fun. The funny part is this thing's still faster. I can carry the kids and the groceries in the back, and 0 to 60, I'm going to beat it in the Tesla pretty much every single day, because this is 3.5 0 to 60, and this is 3.8 on a good day with the tires warmed up 0 to 60. If you got launch control and you do everything just right, you can get 3.8. This thing, almost anybody could get in that Tesla and do 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. All you gotta do is hit the gas. It's all-wheel drive. The traction control in that Tesla is amazing. I think because of the weight that it has and how it's all down low because of the battery pack. You just get grip no matter what. I was out. It's wet right now. I was out and, just hit the gas, and it will not spin. It just takes off. It's crazy what it can do. Now, this thing, you've got to have the launch control just right. And like I said, the tires have to be warmed up. The engine should be warmed up, all that kind of stuff to get it to go. Now, I know I'm going to get some hate just for saying that. Doesn't really matter because it's just the truth of it, honestly. So then you got to think about, okay, well, what are the kind of convenience factors of each one? Biggest thing about the Tesla for me is every single day I come outside, I unplug it, it's charged, I'm ready to go. So if I'm going to be around town, it's amazing. It's ready for me all day long. I really don't have to plug it in every night just going around town. My regular weekdays, I really would only have to plug it in every 2 or 3 nights if I wanted to, because we don't really drive that far necessarily. Now, for long trips, yes, it sucks much more. Especially now, I drive it, a little bit on the faster side, so I really don't get that many miles out of it on the interstate, especially when we're loaded down with the family and all the stuff. So, I can only go maybe 150 miles if I'm lucky on a charge. And then I got to stop at a supercharger and charge for about 15, 20 minutes, depending on, many times it's 15 minutes. So it's not that bad. By the time you run in and you go to the bathroom and come out, it's ready to go. But it is something to think about there as far as, it's just something you have to think about if you're going on a long trip. That's not ideal. Now this thing over here, okay, more ideal, I guess you could say, because you could just stop at the gas station, every few hundred miles and fill it up. It's got the 4-cylinder deactivation, so it'll run on 4 cylinders, and they say it can get, 25, 26 miles per gallon on the interstate. That's not with me driving, but maybe somebody driving. But, you can just stop, and that's a good thing. Now you are filling it up with premium gas, and you're spending a lot of money for that, this thing right now, it takes about $50, $55 to fill it up from empty, versus this thing, I charge it at the house all month long for about $60 on my electricity bill. So, that's a big difference, that is a cost that this car has. This car has oil changes, you're going to have to think about that and the different fluids. This one, I've had it 2 years. It's a 2022, so it's almost 4 years old, and you don't have to do anything with it. The only thing I've changed is the tires one time. Probably coming up to where I'm going to have to change the tires here soon. It's got to be getting worn down. I think I've put, maybe 30,000 miles on these tires, quite a bit. And so with how I drive, I'm going to have to get that done soon. But anyway, okay, so moving on. The first thing I'll do, I'm going to go ahead and get in the Vette here for a second and let you look at a couple of things. First, notice Very low to the ground. Very hard to get in. Okay, once again, people are going to like that. You know, it's a Corvette. That's what you expect. Okay, that's fine. That is what you would expect. But at the same time, it's something to think about. You know, you're getting in and out of this thing. You got this big old door. You can't really get out of that thing unless that door is all the way open. You got to park away from people. You can't really just park right up next to somebody and try to squeeze out. It's not going to work. Not to mention, you don't want somebody to ding the door anyway. That is something to think about. So then we're going to get in the car. Let me show you a couple things here. Once you get in, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on here. All right, now this would be one of the main reasons you would want a Corvette, the sound. The sound is amazing right there. You can't beat that. Obviously, you don't get it with the Tesla, especially when you have the top off up here, which I've got the glass top, but if you got the top off up there, then you just can't beat that. It sounds amazing. You got the paddle shifters. Putting this thing in manual mode and doing those paddle shifters is also just amazing. That's a lot of fun right there. Well, so this is the general interior, you know. This is a LT3, I think they call it, or 3LT, sorry. I've got the leather and I've got the white stitching. And now this is a 2015, so that's something to think about. This car is basically, it is 7 years older than this one right here. So, you know, when I compare this stuff, I'm comparing it to a C7 Corvette, not the brand new C8. I'm sure the C8 is a little bit nicer with some of these features. For example, this does not have the Apple CarPlay, so it did automatically just start the music from my phone through Bluetooth. And it will talk your maps, like Google Maps, it will talk through the speakers. I don't think it'll show it up here though. I think that's different between not having Apple CarPlay. You can do an upgrade to that. I think I've seen different stuff. I saw one thing that said it was close to $1,000 for what you needed to get that done. And I'm not really that worried about it, so I'm not going to pay $1,000 for that, especially right now. It does have heated and cooled seats, which is cool. The Tesla actually does not have cooled seats, so that's kind of nice. Let's see about what else it has. This is the general layout. One thing I wanted to show you is the reverse camera. So I'll put it in reverse here. Look at that quality. Okay. Now, when I first got in this thing, no joke, when I was at the dealership, I put it in reverse and I saw that. And I came and asked the guy, I was like, hey man, is this okay or is this normal? He's like, yeah, it's just because it's a 10-year-old car. That's what the camera and everything was like back then. So they've really come a long way as far as that goes. I don't love it. It's definitely not super easy to use. You know, it's not like the Tesla at all. But you do have your different track modes that you can do there. So you can change the look of the dashboard. There's your track mode, and then I keep it in sport mode. There's a couple other modes. There's touring mode here, which is what a lot of people use when they're driving around. Also, I've heard a lot of people use the sport mode all the time as well, like I do. And then you have econ mode. I've never put it in econ mode, and I really don't think I ever care to. That's not why I got this car, so I'm good there. Let me turn this back to sport, what I'm used to. All right, but yeah, so anyway, that's kind of what you're looking at, you know, regular rear view mirror right there. I mean, everything is nice. You do have a lot of room in the back, actually. As long as the top up here is not in the back snapped in, then you've got plenty of room for stuff. So you see I can have some stuff back there right now. So this is the Corvette. It does have the HUD, which is really, really nice. That heads-up display right there. I do love that. It's super easy. It's just kind of a cool touch more than anything, I think, to me. But this is the Corvette, so it's just, you know, really a basic car on the inside. Now, like I said, being the Z51 Stingray, yes, the Stingray's the, you know, base model there, but then, man, I didn't realize you couldn't see me that whole time I was talking. But anyway, the Z51 model there, it's got a couple of things. Let me see if I can show you here. If I can remember off the top of my head. It's got a couple of extra coolers. So it's got a transmission cooler and it's got a differential cooler. Those are things that come with the Z51 package. It's got the slotted brakes to help with the cooling them down. It also, I believe the Z51 is the reason this one came with bigger rims. So it's 19-inch on the front and it's 20-inch on the back. I think if you get the base Stingray, each one of them are 1 inch smaller. Okay, so that's some big things there. This one has like the magnetic rod suspension type setup for this. So when you change the mode that you're driving in, the suspension tightness can change as well. That's another part of the racing aspect of it. And then like I told you earlier, it's got the dry sump oil system in it. So basically that just makes sure when that car is going under, you know, high G's, you could say, I think during, you know, racing on the track, that kind of thing, it makes sure the oil is everywhere it needs to be. So it keeps that oil pressure under control really well. So that's all the stuff this car has, okay? So that's the base of the C7 right there. I just got this new cover. It says my fast car is at home. That's mainly for the fun of it. I think it's funny, you know. Maybe it's kind of true. Who knows? I think anything over probably 60, this thing would smoke it. But anyway, it's kind of funny to me. So then we come to the Tesla over here. So let me see if I can turn this thing off. I keep covering up my face here, so I'm sure this is going to be fun for y'all to watch. But if you're interested, it's a pretty good video. Some good insight, because like I said, most people are either die hard one or the other. So they're not really going to be able to compare. There's some people commenting on my TikToks, and they're like, oh, only Joe Dirt would drive a Camaro or a Corvette, you know, or something like that. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense, you know. And then all the Corvette guys are like, oh, there's no way I would never own a Tesla, you know. It's like, you don't really know. You never tried it out, you know. But anyway, so now let's get in the Tesla here and see the difference there. Okay, so I got it opened up here. And everybody knows Teslas are very basic on the inside. So here's what we got. This is the setup for driving. Try not to block my face this time. You can see that it's charging. It's got 45 minutes left to my charge limit, which normally is going to be around 80% or so. I keep mine, I think, at 82. You can see it's at 72% right now. So that's what that is. The higher you keep that charge limit, as you get closer to like 90, 95%, it's a lot longer to charge that thing. But Tesla pretty much never recommends to go to 90 or 95 unless you for sure have to go on a long trip and you just need as much possible, you know, charge on that thing to get a few extra miles. But anyway, so then you get in, and I'll hit the brake here. See if I can do this. And then so what'll happen is I'll put it in drive, if I can. All right. So normally it would just automatically do that. It's kind of acting funny right now. Oh, I can't put it in drive because I'm charging. That's why it's acting funny. But anyway, so normally that setting for me would automatically change, and we would be good to go right there. But anyway, so this thing has all the convenience features. You know, we have the AC right here. This thing is conditioned every single morning before we get in the car Monday through Friday. So it knows we're going to come get in at 6:45. I've got that set. If it's too hot outside, it'll cool it down. If it's too cold outside, it'll heat it up based on, you know, what it thinks is comfortable right there, I believe, which is super nice. We never have to worry about a hot or cold car. Even if it's in the garage, it doesn't matter, you know, which is amazing there. You got Spotify, you got all the stuff you can play with. I mean, there's just so much stuff you could do from the screen, and you can change a lot of stuff, you know, because this is the performance. Let's see here. I've got track mode. You can go into that kind of stuff. Let's see what we got there. I haven't really messed with that a whole lot, honestly. Post-drive cooling, save dash cam for laps, drift presets, which is actually kind of cool, and then my set right there. And then the race presets, handling balance, stability assist, regenerative braking, all kinds of stuff right there. So, I mean, you know, there's just multiple things. And this car, it can drive itself if you pay for it, you know. I was paying for it every month until it's $100 a month until I bought my Corvette. And then I'm like, I'll be okay. I'll just put that money towards the Corvette instead. But you can do that, you know. So this is just a super simple car to be able to get in, leave, and come home. And the other cool thing about this thing is I can slam on the accelerator at any point and pass anybody you want. There's no slippage. There's no waiting on the transmission. There's nothing. And you're just going to outrun 90% of the people that's on the road, maybe 95%. You know, I mean, there's nobody really that can keep up. Now that I own a Corvette and I drive a Corvette, I see why people don't race Teslas. It's not going to be that fun. It's not really a good comparison, honestly, because this is an electric car. You know how that's going to go. So why even worry about, you know, racing these guys? Now, if they want to race on the interstate, I'll take them on, you know. I mean, I don't think many would be able to keep up for long on the interstate. Maybe the Plaids that have, you know, 1,000 horsepower or something like that could. This thing I don't think could. But so that's just a couple different aspects. It's a couple of different features that these cars have. You know, this one has these features. This one has these features. And you know what I like about each one a little bit. look at the aesthetics and the beauty of this car. I mean, it's an amazing when you pull up to the restaurant or wherever you're going and you park and everybody's looking at that thing. You turn it on, everybody's looking at it. I mean, that is not a lot. I've been very surprised that that's the case. I didn't know that many people would like it like that. I've posted some other stuff talking about that on my TikToks on Cars and Success 2.0 and that kind of thing. But it's amazing. And you don't get that with this, obviously. This is more of a, people hate this type of thing. But they don't really know, So y'all can comment below, kind of say what you think if you have any experience with one or the other or both, Like I said, I just thought this would be a good video because most of the people out there don't have an experience with both because they're so hard-headed towards one way or the other. I like both of mine, honestly. And, I would definitely buy another Tesla. Even whatever you say about the, reliability and all this kind of stuff about how it was built. I think they've improved a lot of that. I mean, mine's not really too problematic here, so hopefully it'll stay that way. I've got 60,000 miles on it, I think it is. But I wanted a Cybertruck for a long time, but now they do have too many problems. I would not buy one. Model X Plaid, I would buy that. 0 to 60 in like 2.5 or 2.3 or something, 1,000, like 21 horsepower, and you can take your family around. That's unreal, Now, once again, I know most people wouldn't say that, but that's what I would say based on having them both and just loving speed in general. But anyway, y'all can comment. Let me know what you think here. I'm going to be having some upgrades, so I'll post some more videos here soon. I've already got my ACS composite carbon flash emblems here, so I'm going to be getting those put on in the next week or so. And then what else do I have coming up? The biggest thing I want to do is the Corsa exhaust, the axle back right there. So I'll be doing that soon, and I'll post some videos about that. That might actually be a couple months. And like I told you about the front splitter. I told you about the, there's the front splitter. And then I told you about the grill as well. So I'm going to try to get that done. But I think just changing the emblems out to the carbon flash is going to be a pretty awesome enhancement right there. So we will go from there. Y'all let me know what you think, and y'all take it easy. All right, bye.